We are
We are so much more.
than an energy company.
We are connectors.
Community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
Job creators.
friends and neighbors.
Stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we.
We are so much more.
we are the energy.
behind your everyday.
And we are.
Obsessively,
Relentlessly.
At your service.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present this amazing state tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, it's our future leaders, it's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on a successful year, and remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
And Pleasant Valley in Class 5A to determine who goes to the 2022 Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union championship game here from the state tournament at Wells Fargo Arena. Pleasant Valley from Eastern Iowa, Johnston from Central Iowa. They'll do battle here on the floor at Wells Fargo Arena. Hello and welcome to our fourth day of coverage here on the digital network. It's getting real now if we bring in Andy Pollock. I'm Paul Yeager, glad to have you here for this game. It's a contest that you love to see at state. Two teams that don't normally play each other for a game to get into the state title game. Andy, everything gets amplified the later you get into the week. What is going through the minds of these players as they go through their final warm-ups?
Well, you're in the Final Four right now, right? You made it to the point. You won your first game here at state. You got through that first-round jitters. A couple teams who are used to a lot of success in a lot of different sports. So these girls have played in big-time atmospheres before. Really looking forward today to seeing what these coaches will do. As you said, they don't play each other a whole lot, to see what sort of game plans they can come up with here today.
The Johnston Dragons got by conference rival Dowling Catholic 47-38 back on Monday, and Pleasant Valley beat Iowa City High 52-47. Here is their road to the championship for Johnston. They're number one in 24-0, looking to do something never done in Class 5A, and that's have a perfect season. Anna Gosling was huge in that quarterfinal, 19 points, 3 boards, 2 steals. Jada Jimfy, the future Iowa Hawkeye, a double-double, 10 points and 11 rebounds. Pleasant Valley playing upstart here. They are not intimidated by anything. They beat City High 52-47. Haley Weiss, 16 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, and Reagan Pegnano, 7 and 5 and 5. This is going to be a defensive battle, and you're trying to prevent the ball from going inside. Andy, what else do you see on paper?
Well, that's going to be the biggest part, right? They're going to really try to get the ball inside to Jimfy for Johnston. They're going to keep trying to pound the ball inside, but Johnston's got incredible balance with what they do. You look up and down their roster, 6 girls over 6 points a game, which it may not seem like a lot. In girls basketball, that's a bunch. If you can have that much balance, a lot of different girls have the opportunity or the ability to go off on a given evening. I say evening, we're at 10 o'clock in the morning. But yes.
Morning, evening, night.
you never know in here. There's no windows.
There's
you don't know.
no windows. It feels like the casino. Pleasant Valley feels like they're playing a little bit with house money. PV has never won a state tournament game. They knock off 1, check. They're going for 2 on their way to 3. We'll have Andy's keys for success right after this.
Inside Casey's. Outside Casey's. Inside Casey's. Outside Casey's. Inside. Outside. Inside. Outside. Inside. Outside. Order for curbside pickup this winter, and we'll bring your delicious Casey's Pizza order outside, so you can stay inside. Now at Casey's, buy one large pizza, get one half off. Casey's, here for staying inside. Here for good.
It's Fairway Family Food.
Name one reason more people choose to shop at Fairway.
Lower prices.
Name something that Fairway is famous for.
The best meat in town.
Survey says!
Don't play games with your food. Shop Fairway for the best meat in town.
With lower prices and higher quality, everyone's a winner at Fairway.
Until next time, this is Fairway Family Food.
Johnston and Pleasant Valley going through their final pregame warm-ups as the clock ticks down towards tip-off. Let's get you a little more scouting report. We go in for our seeds for success with Andy Pollack.
Well, first of all, for Johnston, again, that balance. They're going to really try to pound the ball down low. But, like I said before, they've got a lot of girls that can score a lot of points. One of the things that this Johnston team has done that really impresses me a bunch, been watching the state tournament for a lot of years, they share the basketball. And I'm not necessarily talking about just creating assists, but just sharing the basketball, finding the open girl. They're all on the same page. It's been a fun team to watch.
And for Pleasant Valley.
Pleasant Valley, Hallie Weiss. You know, they're going to need a big game out of her today to keep up with the Dragons and all the different weapons that they come at you with. She's going to have to handle the pressure, handling the basketball, and look for a big game today out of her.
That is our Seeds for Success, which were brought to you by Kruger Seeds. The next time you are in need of corn or soybean seed, give your local Kruger Seeds dealer a call. Kruger Seeds, first-class seed, first-name service. Learn more at KrugerSeed.com. We'll step away for our final break. When we come back, starting lineups, introductions, and that thing called the tip-off. State Tournament basketball rolls on from Wells Fargo Arena.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors.
Community protectors.
And clean energy leaders.
We are
Job creators.
Friends and neighbors.
Stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we.
We are so much more.
We are the energy
Behind your everyday.
And we are
Obsessively.
Relentlessly.
At your service.
This is Thursday, semifinal Thursday. We'll have semifinals tomorrow, and then we'll flip the script for championship, and that will be in Class 5A and 3A, which games you can see on Iowa PBS. Andy, today it's Johnston, Pleasant Valley to start. Then it'll be West Des Moines Valley and Waterloo West in the bottom half of that bracket. The Tigers got past the Rough Riders of Des Moines Roosevelt, and Waterloo West knocked out the Jaguars of Centennial. What do you see in Valley, Waterloo West?
Well, I really liked watching Valley on Monday. Valley really brings a lot of different looks to you defensively. They changed it up, make you do a lot of different things on offense and have to identify. Waterloo West has some athletes, man. That was a group that got up and down the court. They can create for themselves. Brought a little bit of something different to girls high school basketball that we haven't seen in a while.
We're shaping up for some really good Class 5A matchups today, and we're going to have one hopefully to start right now. Let's introduce and meet all of the players and coaches involved with the two teams. Let's go across to
Good
Tim
morning,
Fitzpatrick.
basketball fans. Welcome to today's 2022 Girls State Basketball 5A semifinal matchup featuring the Pleasant Valley Spartans and the Johnston Dragons. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union promotes good sportsmanship by participants, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants, officials, and spectators in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or abusive comments, or intimidating actions directed at officials, participants, coaches, team representatives, or event personnel will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. We thank you for your cooperation and invite you to enjoy the game.
The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union encourages positive behavior.
Pride, respect, leadership, and sportsmanship on the court and in the stands.
Remember what a great privilege it is to see your team compete.
Thank you for your attendance. Enjoy the game.
And enjoy the game.
Fans, it's now time to introduce the players for today's 5A semifinal matchup. First of all, here are your non-starters for the Pleasant Valley Spartans. Number 3, Reagan Pagnano. Number 4, Kaylee Mowen. Number 5, Bryn Banks. Number 10, Kenzie Stotts. Number 13, Morgan Russman. Number 23, Quinn Weiss. Number 25, Natalie Karslake. Number 30, Molly Ramirez. Number 32, Eddie Maurer. And number 40, Rachel Vonderhaar. Your assistant coaches, Amy Labarge, Marcy Hill, Samantha Urban, and Sophie Haruse. Now let's meet your non-starters for the Johnston Dragons. Number 2, Isabella Balsley. Number 12, Cameron Gillick. Number 14, Cortland Jackson. Number 24, Molly Nelk. Number 32, Avery Ryan. Number 33, Emma Hampton. Number 34, Ava Helming. And number 40, JC Blanchard. Your assistant coaches, Mark Hine, Brad Buchan, Jenny Cook, Ellie Ruffridge, and Christine Wolford. And now it's time to meet your starters for this 5A semifinal. For Pleasant Valley at guard, a 5'8" sophomore, number 2, Jessie Clemens. For Johnston at guard, a 5'5" senior, number 4, Zoe Buchan. For the Spartans at guard, a 6'1" junior, number 12, Hallie Weiss. For the Dragons at guard, a 5'7" senior, number 20, Anna Gosling. At guard for Pleasant Valley, a 5'4" senior, number 15, Matty Moats. For the Johnston at guard, a 5'7" sophomore, number 22, Aaliyah Riley. For the Spartans at forward, a 5'8" senior, number 20, Addie Kirchhoff. At a forward, number 5'11", a sophomore, number 30, Eiley Tanky. And for Pleasant Valley at center, a 6'1" senior, number 24, Megan Schiltz. For Johnston at forward, a 6'2" senior, number 42, Jada Jimphy. Head coach for Pleasant Valley, Jennifer Getz. And for Johnston, Chad Gillick. Ladies and gentlemen, now turn your attention to the area in front of the scorers table as I introduce your officials for today's game as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Jeff Horst, Ray Wilden, and Mark Gassman. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner set VFW number 8142 color guard has been presenting the colors at the girls basketball tournament for over 50 years. Joining them today is the winner set American Legion post number 184. The color guard and American Legion have members from the Marines, Army, Navy, and Air Force, serving in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Gentlemen, we thank you for your service. And now, fans, at this time, we ask you that you please join us and direct your attention to the flag as we honor America and those around the world who protect our freedom with the singing of our national anthem, today performed by Sage Minahan from West Monona, her choral director, Mr. Don Roeder. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Sage. Very nicely done.
Before we begin today's game, we'd like to once again thank Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, for their support. The Iowa Farm Bureau has an office located in each county across Iowa, and we'd like to thank the offices listed on your screen for their support of the two teams playing in our game today. Thank you, Iowa Farm Bureau, for supporting the IGHSAU and the Iowa Girl. The colors have cleared the floor. The teams have been introduced. The final words of instruction for Pleasant Valley, Andy Pollack.
Well, they got to get on the boards. You'll see a lot of zone defense right now. Limit Johnston on their second chance opportunities. That's going to be a big step.
And for the Johnston Dragons,
take advantage of your depth, your balance that you've got. Allow a lot of girls to touch the basketball and give a lot of girls a chance to score.
Johnston 24-0. Pleasant Valley 22-2. They lock horns here in this Class 5A semifinal from Wells Fargo Arena. The winner to play Friday night in prime time in the state championship game. Johnston has been in that title game the last 2 years. They won it 2 years ago, runners-up a year ago. They'd like to go back to the way it was 2 years ago. Pleasant Valley says, hey, we haven't won here, but Monday, why don't we win Thursday so we can play Friday? The starting lineups: Buchan, Gosling, Riley, Tankey, Jimphy for Johnson, which will be in white. Clemens, Weiss, Motes, Kirchhoff, and Schultz in Pleasant Valley in their navy blue. The opening tip is taken by Pleasant Valley. They'll go right to left as you watch on the web around the world here on the Girls Union Digital Network, which is powered by Mid-American Energy. Along with Andy Pollack, I'm Paul Yeager. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday morning, and already a turnover for Pleasant Valley. They tried to go low into Schultz, a little too much to handle.
Yeah, the right idea off the penetration to get it to her, but the bounce pass just a little bit too close to her feet.
Aaliyah Riley will walk it up for the Dragons. And early on, let's see what the defense is. 3-point on the way and hit Eiley Tankey.
And that's going to be a key against this zone defense right now. Kind of a 2-1-2 look for Pleasant Valley as they started off, and it forced Moats to have to defend both. They flooded that zone. Wide open three-pointer for Tanky.
I think Coach Gillick would take a zone because if his shooters are hitting, and so far, Tanky 1 for 1 from 3. Moats with the basketball at the top of the key. Weiss comes out with it, dribbles down on Riley, kicks it off, down low to Schiltz. Missed off the shot, tied up with Gyamfi, and she is going to pick up a foul. And that has been an Achilles heel for Jada Gyamfi in her career at the state tournament. Sometimes foul trouble can limit her action.
Well, and I think they probably missed the foul on the shot right away, so they got it maybe a little closer on the tie-up there towards the end. You know, they really forced a one-on-one. The ball goes out of bounds. Really forced a one-on-one. Gyamfi had to defend a two-on-one, excuse me. Gyamfi had to defend 2 off the penetration. Made things difficult on her.
Credit Gosling on that play. And if you want to find out somebody who's locked in at the state tournament, it's Anna Gosling. She has had a career playing just in these games here at state. She gets her first opportunity, makes a Spartan miss, and the shot is blocked by Schiltz. Run out, and Gosling's going to be called. She grabbed a hold of Clemens.
Intentional
and
foul.
That's going to be an intentional foul, as Gosling was trying to prevent the run out.
And that's a great call. In fact, I almost wondered right away why it wasn't even called sooner, because, yeah, Gosling just reached right out and bear hugged her from behind. Walking out on the court this morning when I got here, I walked out with the Pleasant Valley team and was really struck by the length that they have on several of their players. And you see it coming into play right there with a block shot right at the top of the key, leading to a run out. It really made things difficult for Johnston.
Coach Chad Gillick there trying to get in some words of, now what did she do? He was pleading her case to defend his player right there as Clemens goes 1 for 2, cuts the Johnston lead to 2. 6:47 to go in this first quarter. And early on, these two teams not quite in a rhythm yet. Clemens now back, Weiss with it. Pulls up her dribble, Gosling in her face. Clemens, nice move on the baseline. Back out, Moats, 3, no. Rebound, and put back up is Clemens. Third attempt, Clemens. Over the top again. 5th try coming. Gyamfi the block once. Gyamfi straight up on all of that defense, and you could clearly tell, Andy, Gyamfi was trying to avoid that foul.
Well, how about the work, though, Jessie Clemens down low as she just battles and battles and battles. 3 offensive rebounds in a row for Jessie Clemens, but going up against a much taller Gyamfi, couldn't get it in a bucket.
Clemens gets it in, and it's tipped again by Gosling. Tanky takes it away, and Riley pushes it up for the Dragons. Right side Gosling, thought about the 3, they go Gyamfi. Drop step, kick out corner. 3 again from Tanky. Missed. Rebound Moats, it's going to go back to Pleasant Valley as Weiss collects for the Spartans.
Pleasant Valley with a lot of pep in their step here early on.
Weiss with it, top of the key. Moats drives in, kicks to the left side, but again, a Johnston hand in that passing lane.
Very disruptive.
Kirchhoff gets by Tanky, pulls up free throw line, misses. Again, crashing the boards and missing is Schiltz. This time, Johnston only allows 2 opportunities at the basket.
They're really drawing Gyamfi a long ways away from the basket. It's keeping her off the glass. A lot of second chance opportunities for the Spartans.
Riley over to the left wing. Dribbles in, gets past her defender. The floater in the lane, short. Gets her own rebound for a moment. She's fouled on the rebound. Now, discussing the strategy with Gyamfi, if your coach Jennifer gets, Andy, they had a plan. Hannah Stolke was their regional final opponent. Stolke going to play at the University of Iowa with Gyamfi. Similar type players, so you can just pull that playbook, right? When they're that similar?
Similar, right, but I mean every player brings a little bit something different there. Right now, they're just keeping her a long ways away from the basket on defense.
Bejuken's 3 is short. Falls to the weak side. Riley the rebound. Goes back in. Kicks out again. Gosling, Gyamfi. Johnson moving the ball well. Riley gets behind the defense for 2.
Well, and there's Gyamfi when she gets the ball that far away. That works to their advantage. Her being away from the basket there creates, brings that defense, really extends it up, creates a wide open passing lane.
Weiss top of the key. Now Kirchhoff right side. Into the game is Maurer. 3 launched long by Pagnanio.
Another opportunity.
Sorry. And we're going to have a held ball. It'll go back to Johnston on the alternating possession arrow. Johnston by 4, 5-1. haven't even really looked at the scoreboard much, Andy. It's been much more action on the floor.
Up and down the floor, but really offensive boards has really been impressive for PV in the amount of times. They got 5 offensive rebounds here, just not even 4 minutes into the game.
Riley top, goes upside, down low to Gyamfi, goes under, throws it reverse for 2.
They got a mismatch with Gyamfi on the much shorter Kirchhoff down low. Gyamfi, that reverse layup, if you can hit that against a zone, takes away all the angles. It's a great look for the Dragons.
Nice catch and shoot. Clemens gets it from Pagliano. Timeout on the floor, Pleasant Valley. So that was Clemens that hit that shot, right?
Yes, Clemens off the
cut.
cut.
So Clemens is all 3 points as we look at that replay again, and Gyamfi straight up on the defense. And we've seen this week, if you're straight up, sometimes the offensive player, they are being coached to look and try to entice the contact. What the officials are looking for, Andy, is who initiated that contact. Thanks for the direct messages from the officials that watch our coverage to help me out on that. And there's another play that you've been asking me about. I need to talk about Johnston. In the quarterfinal, they had a play where they put all 5 players out of bounds, and then they put the ball into play, and it was whistled an illegal play. The reason for that is I've been explained now 4 different times. The player has to be in place and cannot move, so that play cannot happen after on a spot inbound. But if it's after a made basket, that play would have been legal. It was after a dead ball spot location, and stealing it is Clemens. She's on the breakaway, lays it up.
Clemens has provided a huge spark early on here for the Spartans, a lot with her defense as well. I mean, she is just all over the court.
Dragons lead down to 2. Buchan had foul trouble against Dowling on Monday. Drives in and has it taken away again. The long arms of Hallie Weiss wreaking havoc.
Yeah, Hallie Weiss is able just to reach in there, got all ball, knocked it out of bounds. Pleasant Valley, couple different defensive looks here that they've shown, I think, coming out of the timeout. Now going to the 1-3-1.
Buchan, quick catch and shoot off the mark. Pagliano the rebound, runs it up, 1-on-4. The trailer coming, 3. Bates off high, Addie Kirchhoff.
Kirchhoff, no hesitation whatsoever. She shoots 33% from 3. Probably not expecting to bank that one in.
Pleasant Valley, first lead of the game. Gyamfi for the bucket and 1 more.
Gyamfi caught the ball with Quinn Weiss on her hip. They were trying to front her. There was no backside help. Once she caught it, that's all Weiss could do was foul her. And Gyamfi with a chance for a 3-point play.
Foul whistled on Addie Maurer. Gyamfi at the line. She calls that fingernail color spring break. Last year it was orange. Now it's a little more pink.
I'm not sure I could rock that color right now.
Weiss with it. Way out. 3. Short. Gyamfi in position. She had a body on Schultz, and Schultz is going to be called for the foul.
And that time the longer rebound worked out well for Johnston, because as it went out to Gyamfi in good position, had a defender over her back, or not technically, if we're going to talk official terms today, displacing her.
I still think the call, instead of saying that's over the back, I'd say that's displacement, which would be a little more accurate. Whistle on Pleasant Valley now, and that is going to be on Maddie Moats. There have been a couple of substitutions, been hard to keep up. Molly Nelk is one of them, and all substitutions today are brought to you by IMT. Be worry-free with IMT Insurance, IMTINS.com.
Pleasant Valley with very, very little scoring on the floor right now.
Gosling catches, shooting, missed. Tanky was there, but Weiss had position. Moats, 3. Almost falls.
PV not gun shy at all from 3 here early on. They've hit a lot throughout the course of the year.
Getting behind the defense was Gosling. Riley was trailing. Now back. Johnston a little more traditional here. 3 from Nelk. Good.
Again, in football, we would call that a flood route, flooding the zone. Just a little back and forth up here. Nelk, they really create a 2-on-1.
And we're going to have a foul inside, reaching in. And it's going to be whistled on Eiley Tankey. That is the third team foul on Pleasant Valley. PV to inbound underneath their own basket. Weiss with it in the corner, guarded by Riley. 2:15 to play, first quarter. Weiss dribbles up, gets around her defender. Shot is tipped by Riley. And the Dragons get the loose ball. Now up ahead, right side, Anna Gosling. Can she do it? The Dragon crowd says yes, she can. Gosling pulls the trigger for three.
We've heard Johnston players and Coach Gillick also talk about transition that time. I know a lot of times you think transition, you're thinking getting a layup, but that time just wide open, not able to get down and identify their area in the zone. Wide open three for Gosling.
Maurer up now. Pagliano looks. Nelk daring her. Pull back three. Shot up. No good. Rebound, Jada Gyamfi. 90 seconds to play. First quarter. Nelk loses it and almost takes out Coach Getz.
Yeah, Nelk went down awkwardly over there on the PV sideline. Just not quite able to handle the basketball.
Another IMTINS.com substitution here, brought to you by IMT Insurance.
Got Clemens back in the game for PV, and she's been the one that's made him go here early on today.
Clemens dribbles it up, guarded by Isabella Balsley, who checked into the game at the last moment. Weiss up top guarded by Gyamfi. Cutting, shooting, missing the shot was Kirchhoff, and Balsley chases down the loose ball.
Well-designed play, just couldn't finish.
Gyamfi trailing, up top. Goes past her defender, kicks it, swing it, Nelk. Floater in the lane, no. Gyamfi tips it to Balsley. Gosling fakes right, drives left, back Gyamfi, back door. Two.
Gyamfi is working her way almost past the basket and then working her way back in, and that's created some nice looks for her. There's no way to help because you'd be standing out of bounds. You'd be a wasted defender.
Weiss forced the issue inside. Johnson made her pay. Up ahead. Hampton just a little too far in front of Emma, and it goes off of Johnston. Pleasant Valley will have it back. This game, PV had a lead at 8-7. Since then, it's been all Johnston. They lead by 10. The final 30 of this very fast-moving and intense first quarter. Hallie Weiss. Oh, nice backdoor cut. Not quite able to get it to go was Clemens, and Johnston with a chance to extend this lead with 10 seconds to go before the end of the quarter. Coach says go now, ladies. Now, Gyamfi, the cut. PV's going to get a chance. 1 second. Weiss, she wanted to pass it. Instead, she threw it. Johnston 18, Pleasant Valley 8, 1 quarter in. Back after this from the state tournament.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors,
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we.
We are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday.
And we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
Des Moines. The S's are silent. The fun is always loud. And now it's easy to plan your Des Moines adventure. Introducing the Catch List. A list of all things you can't miss. All the thrills, all the chills, hops and drops. Des Moines is a city of love that'll put a smile on your face. It's easy to picture yourself here. Find your adventure at catchdesmoines.com/catchlist today.
Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600. That means the college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is now more affordable than ever, and scholarships are still available. Apply today at central.edu. Johnston closes out the first quarter on an 11-0 run. They lead 18-8. PV had the lead at 3:30. Since then, Andy Pollack, the Spartans have gone cold.
Well, and they've done a much better job. Johnston has on the defensive glass. Talked just a couple minutes in. PV had 5 offensive rebounds, and now they have not had another one since that point, and Johnston really out-rebounding them a bunch.
Vice's turnaround shot, she missed, and after that, she just gave a look of, oh, seriously. Riley, Gyamfi, under the basket, no. Gyamfi had it for a moment. Instead, Pleasant Valley's Maurer came away with the basketball. Inside, nice cut, Clemens. Waits for another cut from Vice, and Riley's going to be called for the hold.
That's going to be her second as well. Riley runs things very well from that point position for Johnston, and now she's probably going to have a seat on the bench. Pleasant Valley got some. Is that just her first? I thought
Just
it was
her first.
second. Okay.
Buchan's the one without fouls this time. It's Gosling who got the intentional early. And that's going to be a foul now on Buchan. The moment I say she doesn't have any fouls, she picks up one.
Johnston's so aggressive in everything that they do. You know, no one in any major foul trouble yet, but something that, PV, take the ball at them.
Nice cut by Vice, and it's going to be off of Pleasant Valley. Coach Gillick told me before the game, he says it's hard to rebound out of a zone, so we need to get some second chance points. Let's look at the rebounds right now. It's 12-11, pretty even. Johnston with a 1-board advantage.
Well, and where it started off was actually the PV on the offensive glass, where they were able to get a lot, and they haven't lately. Clemens, though, again, that spark from the top of the zone.
Vice, kind of not a smooth look at it, travels. And Johnston, Buchan might have been thinking, oh, I thought maybe they'd whistle me for a reach on that.
Could have been a travel, could have been a jump ball, could have been a foul, could have been any number of things at that point.
Gosling inbounds at Buchan. Here comes Gyamfi up at the middle of that press break. She goes up and over with the pump fake. Buchan dribbles around. Gyamfi, who is known to shoot the three. Instead, she goes Riley backdoor, and Riley made it look easy, but that is a highlight-worthy play.
The entry pass that came from 25 feet away, you saw Riley just kind of snuck baseline. She didn't make that hard cut. She just saw the soft opening in the zone, gradually crept to it. Eventually, Gyamfi saw her, and a nice finish there for Riley.
And she gets the and one. Now with 5. Johnston 21, Pleasant Valley 8. High pass, chase down, Pagliano. Now Vice kicks it back out. 3. Rattles around off of the fingertips of Kirchhoff, and Johnston doesn't allow a second attempt.
Good battle there for the board. Good box out position by Gosling.
Buchan. I'm not saying that's totally out of Anna Gosling's range. Tanky hit the game's first bucket. Makes a nice move, the Iowa State commit. Gyamfi tips it. Back to, eventually, Tanky. Riley on the top of that defense, and she drives and is fouled. Against Dowling Catholic, the Maroons forced Riley to shoot the basketball from the outside. After that first quarter, Riley did a much more traditional to her style of play in driving the basketball. You don't normally think of the point guard, Andy, as the one who drives and scores.
Well, in that zone, everybody's in their spot. There's no opportunity for help because they've got such an eye on Gyamfi. But I really like what Riley did there, though, was she kept the ball away from the defender. You saw she went just to her right hand, kept it a long ways away from the defender. And now we're at the point that Pleasant Valley needs to get a bucket. They haven't scored since the 3:30 mark of the first quarter.
It's my understanding I'd not have to do any math about how long ago that was, but it was several minutes ago.
6 minutes as of right now.
And it's going to stay that way as the shot is off the mark by Pagliano.
Well, they haven't really tried to get the ball inside at all, shooting up a lot of threes.
Gosling fakes, now kicks to Tanky. Has 2 defenders quickly on her. Now 4, somebody's got to be open. It's Buchan. The back spin didn't quite fall, went a little left, and that's going to be a foul on Tanky on the reach.
we have a microphone up on the backboard?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just caught that throughout the whole thing. I didn't realize
you hear the rattle a lot on the bankboard, but you don't always, it doesn't always pick up much language or yell, so. Had a chance to talk to Reagan Pagliano after the quarterfinal game, and for a freshman, she's pretty locked in as a player, very serious. None of this, I'm just happy to be here. She was all business in her post-game comments after the win against City High.
That's a lot of pressure talking to the Paul Yeager, too.
She's like, who's this weird guy? Nice drive and score finally for Megan Schultz.
And that's what they're going to have to do, work the ball to the inside. Been settling for a lot of threes, have shot 8 of them, and only hit 1.
The drought is over, and now Pleasant Valley in the double figures. The lead is 13, and it might get extended here as Gyamfi is fouled by Schultz.
Gyamfi, her awareness of where the defender is, she does such a nice job without the basketball of creating a passing lane. It helps when you're 6'1". Sometimes they can go over the top, but she really does a nice job of always having the defender on her hip.
Gyamfi saw some dust on the inside of the rim, and she just wanted to wipe it off. There's a look at the bucket the other way for Schultz.
Much needed there for PV.
Gyamfi makes that one a little easier. She now has 8. 25-10. Dragons in control. Maurer loses it for a moment, guarded by Hampton. Pagliano. 3 in the corner. That time not able to make it count was Quinn Weiss. Gyamfi there for the board. Gosling thought about it. Have to say, Andy, Johnston hasn't relied on Gyamfi too much down low. They've really tried to move the basketball around. Have you noticed that?
Well, they've also, it helps they're hitting their outside shots right now, shooting almost 40% from three-point land.
There's a nice 3. Quinn Weiss. The freshman hits a 3.
No one came out to defend her.
Lead cut to 12.
Weiss doesn't shoot a whole lot of them. In fact, only shoots 14% from three-point land, but able to hit that one.
Riley, top of the key. Gosling, trigger, pulled, missed.
You mentioned it, not much inside half court that's not within her range.
Well, it helps when you have Ellie Ruffridge as your shooting coach on the bench for Johnston this season. Is the former Pocahontas, Missouri State basketball player. Ellie, program model here at the Union at the state tournament one year. And good to see Ellie getting into coaching.
Didn't take her very long at all. In fact, I'm sure there's a lot of high school coaches around the state that were knocking on her door up there. And Pocahontas.
Long 3 is missed, and now Johnston's taken a couple of shots out of their offense. Pagliano will get a chance to shoot 2 as Gosling steps up to take the charge, but she wasn't set, and she initiated the contact. So the foul will be on Gosling as we look at it again.
Yep, not square at all. Contact definitely off the side. Good body control there by Pagliano.
It's the first free throw, was Reagan.
PV hanging around. This is what they need to do after going on a long dry spell. Now they've hit a few shots, a couple free throws. Just want to have yourself a chance in the fourth quarter. That's all you can ask right now.
Back within 10. We've seen 10-point leads evaporate in under 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. Let's see if Johnston can hold off this run that PV's making. Interior pass is knocked away by that long defense of Pleasant Valley. Moats with it.
Not a place you want to force the basketball.
3. No. Riley battling, but collecting and scoring is Hallie Weiss.
Weiss at 6'1", very long. Johnston needs a timeout, and now it's PV, again, creating on the offensive glass, giving themselves multiple opportunities.
We take a look at that replay. Riley and Weiss kind of locked in on the body control. The position was Riley, but Vice has the height advantage.
And by about 4 inches, and also did a good job of not just reaching right over the top. Kind of went hip to hip, back to back with her, was able with those long arms to get it. Vice, one of those players for PV I talked about as I walked out on the court, just struck by their length. Long bodies, long arms, able to create a lot and very disruptive to Johnston on the offensive end. Now it's been Johnston who hasn't scored for a while, so kind of a streaky game here today.
You enjoy this tournament, don't you?
I love being here. This is one of my favorite places to be. I talked to several people throughout the course of the week. Where are you at? Where are you at? Well, I was like, hey, just wait. I'm on my way because this level of basketball right now, these are some of the top athletes, going Division I, so some of the top athletes in the country. And girls basketball in Iowa, so much fun to watch. There's so much strategy, so much coaching that goes on. And then at certain times, it's just the better athletes take over. A nice mix of all that.
Molly Nelk for 3, no good. Who's there for the rebound but Hallie Vice again. No contact on that. Run out for Buchan. And I think I might have to agree with the PV fans behind us. I think there was a little bit of contact there that contributed to that, but
I just think
that's what they're thinking.
I think everybody just kind of looked away at that point.
Moats, now Vice. Pull up 3, short. Gyamfi grabs. Jada Gyamfi now with 7 rebounds in just the first half.
Maybe a little quick on the trigger there for Vice. They've done a nice job working it around and getting some good looks lately.
Johnston's been having to settle for outside shots. They just haven't gone. They've gone to Gyamfi a couple times. There's another one. Nelk's shot rattles in and out. Hallie Vice moves right in front of our location. Now it's back to Moats. Vice, drop step, uses a little creative move to get a shot up, but wasn't square with the basket. Buchan dribbles it up.
That's that good vertical defense being played by Gyamfi. Just moves straight up, contact initiated by the offensive player, they let it go.
Blanchard had come into the game, JC Blanchard. She's on the floor, they go into Gyamfi. Quickly gets 2 blue shirts around, swung over to Blanchard. Riley at the free throw line. Will she drive or will she dish? She passes, Blanchard pulls, shoots, and scores.
Didn't even move the net. Aaliyah Riley creates it by that little bit of penetration. Again, creates a little 2-on-1 look in that zone. Leaves it out there, wide open look.
Blanchard, a junior, trying to battle these freshmen and sophomores. Good shot, and knocked down by Addie Maurer.
So the percentage is starting to come into play for PV.
Riley, 10 seconds. Buchan. Now Nelk, 7 seconds. Inside Riley, 4 seconds. 3. Buchan pulls, shoots, misses. No rebound chance for either team, and Johnston will go to the locker room with a 10-point lead, 30-20. I think that was an even 12-12 quarter, Andy Pollack.
Well, you saw both teams go through streaks, and you saw PV start to hit some shots from the outside, and it certainly helps. I really like, though, what they've been able to do when they work the ball to inside. They've been able to do some nice things there. I talked about late there about some of the percentages catching up, and PV, a very, very good three-point shooting team, starting to hit a few at the end. It's one of those, I always believe that the numbers will always work themselves out, and they miss so many early on that eventually they've got to catch up.
Pleasant Valley, 7 of, does that say 29 or 24? That's 29 for 24%. So when you talk about percentages, is that one of the things Coach Getz is talking about in the locker room? Just keep shooting the ball. Eventually, it's going to fall.
Well, and it's going to work out for them. They're also almost almost a 40% three-point shooting team with their starters on the floor. So that's another spot when you look at them only shooting 23% from 3. There's certainly some room in there for them to catch up if those percentages hold.
Johnson holds off the run from Pleasant Valley, and they go in with a 10-point lead. We'll break down the stats a little bit more and continue the halftime program here at the Iowa High School State Basketball Tournament. Back in a moment from Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines.
Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present this amazing state tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, it's our future leaders, it's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm-strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on a successful year, and remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
I hear you're looking for a great college where you can get an affordable education. SWIC is the place for you.
I appreciate the personalized attention.
And I've gotten to meet people from all around the world.
The SWIC student housing is incredible.
I like SWIC's hands-on training.
And I'll start my career in 2 years.
I can schedule my classes online or face-to-face.
SWIC feels like a community.
Like family, like home. SWIC is a place for you.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Halftime of this Class 5A semifinal. The Johnston Dragons 30, Pleasant Valley 20. Andy Pollock, Paul Yeager with you here courtside of this contest. Pleasant Valley from the eastern half of the state. Johnston here in central Iowa. Andy, you saw a lot of 5A teams this year. How was the play in 5A?
You mentioned something in the pregame that I had heard it throughout the course of the week, and you just see how balanced it's been throughout the, I don't know, has it been 20 years or so of 5A right now? Maybe not quite that long. Never been a 5A team to finish the year undefeated. That's an incredible stat when you think about the great teams that there's been throughout the course of when they created that fifth class. It's really an incredible number that no one's been able to do that. It shows how balanced it is, not just amongst the entire state, but within each conference as well. You see a lot of teams go on a run at the end of the year. We've seen a lot of one-loss, two-loss type teams, but just the fact that you can't go throughout the course of the year without losing, that's incredible.
Well, when you look at Johnston's schedule, and that's all about, we kind of talk about that and the scheduling that these teams will do. Johnston has played Des Moines Roosevelt, state tournament team. Glenwood could be in the final. They're in the semifinals today. Centennial was at the tournament. Dallas Center Grimes, they are in the semifinals. And then just the rest of the conference that is always kind of tough in the central part of the state. So Pleasant Valley, when you look at it, their standpoint, they're like, all right, well, we did okay. We played Central DeWitt. That's a state tournament team. We played Assumption. That's a state tournament team. And then you have to go through it, and sometimes they put Linn-Mar on the schedule, and Bettendorf has been a team that's given them fits, their rival in Bettendorf there. And they had to get by Cedar Rapids, Washington to get to the state tournament. So as you look at how things go, Coach Getz, she said on Monday, she says, hey, we are a blue-collar team and maybe not a blue-collar community, but we work hard, and you just love to see it, and you hear it time and time again, teams think that, oh, we're the lower seed, so we have to play with a chip on our shoulder.
Well, that's a great point, what she said about the blue-collar team and a blue-collar community, because a lot of times, I've said this many times in clinics all around the country, you got to coach some of these kids, some of the most difficult positions they'll be in when you're in a suburban community like these two are right now. Some of the most difficult positions these kids will have to be in is an 0-2 count on the softball field, or serving with a game on the line on the volleyball court. So really creating that atmosphere and making things difficult in practice, making things harder, making kids realize that not everything's always going to be right here for you. Sometimes you've got to go out and work for it.
Or, as in Pleasant Valley's case on the girls' side of sports, they don't struggle in anything. I mean, you're looking at state championship volleyball, softball, they always seem to be playing in Fort Dodge. Soccer has been good. They're really good in a lot of sports. It's just been basketball that's been their hump that they finally got over and getting to the state tournament and now advancing. All right, let's take a look at some of those stats, Andy, as we were discussing here as we get the official update from the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Unit staff, which has been fantastic all week. Thank you so much, Jason Esslinger, for all of your work. I know he's coordinated a whole lot of things. Not one player in double figures, which means A, it's a low-scoring game, B, it's balanced. The biggest is Aaliyah Riley with 7 and Jada Jimphy with 9. The big stat, though, for Jimphy, Andy, is her 7 boards.
And she's created a lot that way. She's not given Pleasant Valley, after an early onslaught of offensive rebounds, she's not given them an opportunity for very many second chances at all. In fact, they had 5 in about the first 3 minutes of the game. Pleasant Valley did, and they've got 8 offensive boards at this point, so much better job on the defensive glass for them. And what she's done offensively is just draw a lot of attention, and the way Johnston shoots a 3 has freed her up a lot down low.
And Pleasant Valley, in only 9 minutes of floor time, Jessie Clemens has put in 5 points. She's the only one with more than one basket. She's the only one with a pair. So Clemens with 5, rebounds Hallie Weiss with 6, 4 from Megan Schiltz. So when you look at the rebound, it's 2018 in favor of PV. Coach Gillick says that's something we have to watch and try to win.
Well, and you see PV absolutely crash the boards each time. Every time the shot goes up on offense and defense, they've done a nice job as well, limiting Johnston to one and done. So they hit a couple 3-pointers in the second half and attack the basketball, maybe work some more inside out right now, because Johnston can be very aggressive around the perimeter on their defensive look, and that's why sometimes you see Gyamfi get into foul trouble. They create her. She's the last line of defense right there. You go into her. But today they've let some of that contact go, and it's worked out well for her.
All right, they are all Iowa girls, and to make the Iowa Girls State Tournament happen, it needs a little bit of help from a title sponsor. Here's Lisa Brinkmeyer with more.
I'm Lisa Brinkmeyer, here along with Brent Johnson, president of Iowa Farm Bureau. First off, we'd like to thank you for your title sponsorship of the Girls Athletic Union, as well as the 2022 Girls State Basketball Tournament. Brent, why is it important for Iowa Farm Bureau to invest in Iowa's youth?
Yeah, well, our youth is tomorrow's leaders. And, Iowa Farm Bureau, we put a lot of emphasis in that. And, every year we give $250,000 to kids in scholarships throughout the entire state. Over the last several years, we've provided almost $500,000 in teacher education and products for their classrooms. One of the things that we're really proud of is being able to take care of our students on the athletic fields as well. Iowa is one of only 7 states that even offers concussion insurance. And again, this year, Iowa Farm Bureau, we're proud to announce that at no cost to the student or their families, Iowa Farm Bureau is providing that concussion insurance for those student athletes so that they remain safe and can compete at a high level.
Fantastic.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors,
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we
are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday.
And we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
Sometimes people who seem to know everything.
Dental insurance costs a fortune and it covers nothing.
Don't. For instance, personal plans from Delta Dental cut the cost of many procedures in half. So be careful what you hear.
How important are teeth anyway?
Get the facts. Contact Delta Dental about saving with personal dental plans today.
Des Moines. The S's are silent. The fun is always loud. And now it's easy to plan your Des Moines adventure. Introducing the Catch List. A list of all things you can't miss. All the thrills, all the chills, hops, and drops. Des Moines is a city of love that'll put a smile on your face. It's easy to picture yourself here. Find your adventure at catchdesmoines.com/catchlist today.
Class 5A semifinal from the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Basketball Tournament. We're getting ready for quarter number 3. Coach Getz and the Spartans come out down by 10. Coach Getz has never lost inside this building as a coach. She was 3-0 when she led Assumption to a state title. She played in the tournament, did lose a couple of games there when she played with Cardinal Stritch of Keokuk. You know, she was the...
That wasn't in this building.
That was not in this building. It was across the street. She was the first to do 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. Then she went on to play at St. Ambrose, and I told her on Monday, says, I always like watching you play at Ambrose. I was in Davenport at the time when she was playing. We always had those Ambrose highlights on Channel 6, and she was so fun to watch. I said, do your players know about you as a player? She goes, no, we don't talk about that. You know, coaches don't always like to have the tape of them existing. Zoe Buchan's first shot is good from 3 for Johnston.
Kind of a skip pass, switch around, and force that defense to play a lot of different spots.
Buchan's first bucket of the game in the first 30 seconds. Johnston back out to a 13-point lead as Pleasant Valley goes to work. First offensive possession. Very deliberate. 3-shot gets off the mark from Kirchhoff. And Johnson pushes it up. Gosling right in front of the team bench. Nice movement around. Tanky, 3, baseline, good. Just like the first half, Andy. Tanky hits a big 3 to start things.
And that's with a hand in her face. Tanky, you know, they had an open look to start, and that's a big start to the second half for the Dragons.
The Spartans will take a timeout, and so will we.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors,
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we
are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday.
And we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
Coach Gillick told me today, he says, hey, we can't turn the ball over against their zone, and we have to have a transition before they can set up their zone. How's Johnston done in one of the keys to the game for them?
Well, 6 turnovers is all in the entire first half, and that's a very, very good number to put up. You're limiting the run-out opportunities, and, you know, early on, Jesse Clemens was getting a lot of hands on balls at the top of that zone that the Spartans were running, and they've handled it much better as the game has gone on.
Let's see if the quick timeout gets the Spartans back into game shape. 6:54 to play, third quarter. Johnston by 16. Spartans with the basketball. Weiss is fouled, and that is on Buchan. Zoe picks up, I think, foul number 3. Just number 2. Must have mismarked somebody from the first half there.
Buchan slid in just a little bit late. Again, got to attack the basket. Things work out well for PV when they do.
Moats takes the inbounds pass and gets it to Clemens. Kirchhoff, now Weiss.
Johnston challenges everything, every pass, every dribble.
Buchan gets the steal, squirts it out to Tanky, up ahead Riley behind the defense, lays it up and in. I didn't even get a chance to say what you just said, Andy, about hands in every pass. Reminds you of Newell Fonda.
Just challenging everything. Again, you're never comfortable in the half court. Johnston, they're not like a Press Virginia or anything like that. But in the half court, nothing comes easy.
They're like a good lawyer. They question everything. Moats tied up. Riley reaches in and forces a held ball.
Again, the second that Moats picks up her dribble, she's got 4 other hands right there on the basketball, just constantly challenging.
You think, oh, it's just 2 players. I'm like, oh, that's right. They do have 2 hands. That makes a huge difference in basketball. You know, in football, it's not so much a hand as it is a body that you're working
on. You can run with a ball. You don't have to dribble it.
That helps, too. Clemens dribbles in and kicks out. Back to the freshman, Pagliano. Laying it up, and it's going to be an offensive foul on Weiss. Yeah, she's called for the charge.
Riley was still there from the earlier pass, saw that she was in a good spot, stayed there, held her ground, and drew the charge. Aaliyah Riley, just recognized that she was in a spot that she could help make a difference and did it.
Jeff Horst, Ray Wilden, and Mark Gaspin on the call today for the officials. They worked a game back on Monday. Now they're working a game today. Jada Gyamfi backdoor behind the defense. 10 points for Jada.
They've got that zone defense so far extended. Again, just no opportunity for help once Gyamfi catches it over the top.
Clemens drives and is fouled underneath the basket.
I think they're going to get Gosling for that one. I was a little shielded out, but Gosling went in, reached in. Clemens definitely the bright spot today for PV.
Looking back up about, I talked about it earlier about Gosling and her points here at the state tournament. When she was just a sophomore, she had 17 in a game, and she's, multiple figures. It just seems like all the time. Here on Monday, Gosling was in the zone, and she had 19. So year after year, some players just love this environment and step up and be gamers.
Well, and she's been quieter here today, but there's so many more opportunities out there, and a lot of other players for Johnston that have stepped up. And there you see a nice finish there for Buchan.
Now it's a 20-point lead for the Dragons. Nice give and go to Weiss. Turn around over Riley. Good. Only the 4th point for Hallie Weiss. That's way under her average.
Just hasn't got a whole lot of touches either.
Nice interior to and out for Johnston. Riley back to Gyamfi. Gets her defender up in the air, misses on the bunny. And the rebound, Maurer.
Same type of entry they've been working most of the game, just couldn't quite finish that time.
Maurer has a tough assignment on Gyamfi, and she has answered the call a lot of times. Weiss dribbles in. Defense collapse. Shot is tipped by Nelk. Weiss, and I think before the shot, Gyamfi will be called for the foul.
Gyamfi's so active down low that every once in a while you just kind of find yourself in a bad spot. When you're around, you're the rim protector for the Dragons. That's exactly what happened in that situation. Reaches in and gets dinged for her second.
Another IMT insurance substitution. Be worry-free with IMTINS.com. And stolen away by Riley for Johnston. 2-on-2. The fadeaway layup is good, and now Riley in double figures with 11.
Great body control by Aaliyah Riley.
Stolen away. Tanky. Buchan has Nelk on her left side, gets it to her, but before the pass, and at the same time that it's happened, she's fouled by Reagan Pagliano.
And Pagliano, I thought, had done a nice job of both taking away the basket and taking away the passing lane. And it ended up being with Buchan making that pass just a little bit late, got her out of position.
Buchan to inbound. Now Nelk in the left corner. Pulls back from 3, gets it.
Nelk is a 50% three-point shooter on the year, missed a couple in the first half. I'd expect to see a few more drop through in the second.
Weiss pulls up, Nelk in her face. Kirchhoff, or Schultz, now Moats. Weiss. Entry pass in, taken away, and then Pagliano is going to be called for the
Started with Riley, back on defense though, just able to get in there again, disrupting, and we don't have a stat for deflex, but the amount of times that just a Dragon hand is on the basketball and throws their offense out of rhythm. A very motion-oriented offense, constantly moving is Pleasant Valley, but you throw things off just a little bit as they get a good look down low here.
Emma Hampton in the lane. Nelk again for 3. Moats chases it down, now dribbles up, left over right, pass is blocked, and Buchan saves to Emma Hampton. Hampton almost had a run out with Nelk, but chose to go the traditional route with the guard and not the long court pass. Tanky. Molly Nelk dribbles back up over center. Buchan thinks about the three, skips over the zone. Tanky drives in, cuts the distance. Hampton has a cutting Nelk. Expected some contact. Kind of altered her shot and missed it. And then Nelk gets a hand on it, and then Nelk's going to be whistled for the foul. I know we were talking about the long-range shooting of Molly Nelk, but I still go, my lasting memory of Molly Nelk was actually her first memory as a freshman in a game at Johnston against Dowling. Nelk is the one who hit the buzzer beater. Hadn't been on the floor much that game. It was early in the season, and she hits the game winner against a Caitlin Clark Dowling Catholic team. So anytime anybody beat Caitlin Clark and Dowling, they wrote home about it.
Certainly a great memory for her. And, Nelka, again, one of those players that we've seen a lot of young players grow up here at the state tournament where we see them as freshmen and then get an opportunity to watch them develop throughout the years. And Molly Nelk, certainly one of those players that feels like she's been around forever. And here she is, just a junior for Coach Gillick.
Balsley gets the steal. Now has it up over to Buchan. Dribbling up over the top of that defense as the zone a little bit extended now. Back door, Hampton. 2 more.
Just a great angle created as they go that skip pass. A lot of times when we talk skip pass, you're going around the perimeter, but this time skip pass takes it into the lane. A great, great look.
Three hit from the right side for Pleasant Valley, Quinn Weiss.
Quinn Weiss, another one of those players that we'll probably be talking about for years to come. 6'1" freshman off the bench here for PV.
Her sister wants to play D1 basketball. I think Quinn wants to as well. If you make shots like that, you're like, hey, this is fun.
At 6'1", if you can hit a three-point shot, you're going to be a prime commodity there for college basketball coaches.
And this would be the part of the game, if I was doing the game with Laura Leonard, she would say, yes, there's a place for the three, but there's also a place for the mid-range jumper. And that's what a 6'1" player usually will hit.
That mid-range jumper right now is interesting because you see analytics and you watch and you dig into all the science behind everything and the math behind everything, and it's really an art that, defenses kind of leave it alone anymore too, because offenses, they'll much prefer an offensive man shoots the 15 to 18-footer right in there.
Clemens puts it in for Pleasant Valley as they get it back to 20 as the final seconds tick off here in the third quarter. Yeah, analytics has become a big part of every sport: baseball, softball, football, basketball.
There's so much data available with everything that's out there, all the different programs, the websites, the apps. Everything's on video. You can watch everything. In fact, I know there's programs right now that you're wearing a vest, so they're analyzing every step you take. How fast do you change directions? How does that work? What's the average distance you're running during the course of competition? How long are you running at top speed? Just all sorts of analytics out there, not just for when's the best shot to take, but it's impacting training. It's impacting everything that's going on, not only at the professional and the college level, but down to the high school, even junior high levels right now. You see a lot of that coming into play.
Well, you look at all these coaches that sit on the benches of these teams, and they're keeping stats and a lot of time. And in fact, I remember several years ago watching Jay Scheidemann for Unity Christian. The very first thing, he was barely off of the floor at halftime one game, and he wanted the iPad because he wanted to see where all the shots were, and he wanted some of that information. Some coaches, they don't want any of that. They want information, but they're not always looking at shot charts walking off the court.
Well, and there's still no substitution for that gut feeling, right? That you have throughout the course of the game, maybe getting a player in that you feel like might be hot.
Riley up over to trying to get it to Blanchard, and it went off of Blanchard's hand right over to the scorer's table. Knocked over the bottle of water where the public address is sitting, Mr. Tim Fitzpatrick.
Tim's been doing this for a lot of years.
You know what?
First time he's probably had water knocked over.
2 seconds, 1 second. That ends the third quarter. We go to the final frame with Johnston up 51-29.
We are
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors.
Community protectors.
And clean energy leaders.
We are
Job creators.
Friends and neighbors.
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we.
We are so much more.
We are the energy
Behind your everyday.
And we are
Obsessively
Relentlessly.
At your service.
It's Fairway Family Food.
We asked 100 grocery shoppers who has the best online shopping.
Fairway Meat and Grocery.
Yes. Name a reason you do your online shopping at Fairway.
Expert shoppers pick out my groceries.
Survey says
Fairway experts hand pick your groceries.
With lower prices and higher quality, everyone's a winner at Fairway.
Pick up a great deal when you shop at Fairway.com today.
Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600. That means the college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is now more affordable than ever. And scholarships are still available. Apply today for central.edu. Who needs enemies when you have friends, right, Andy?
A lot of people watching today. You never know what you're going to find when you open up your phone at a break.
That's right. And I know you have friends watching, and I do too. And we have some familiar faces that have been here at the tournament, maybe not here this year, that are watching. They just can't quit it. I always like to say hello to the classrooms that are watching. I'm sure they don't have the audio up. Maybe they do in English, and they're going to grade my
you can certainly turn on the subtitles, right, on YouTube.
Oh, man.
You can turn that on as well.
I always feel bad for the bots that have to follow me.
I had a situation a couple weeks ago. My daughter was playing. You see a three-pointer there hit by Pagliano. Need a few more of those here for PV to catch up. But, you know, I had a situation a couple weeks ago. My 7th grader was playing a tournament. I got a call from her teacher, and they were watching the game. They were watching the stream of a volleyball game on a Monday morning that they were playing on, and had the whole class up for a 7th grade volleyball tournament. I thought that was hilarious, but it was too far away. She didn't know who some of the girls were on the screen. So it just shows you the support that you get, though, at all levels. You know, in these communities, it's no different at Johnston or in Pleasant Valley, just the support that you get from everywhere.
Well, and it's become an expectation now of the games are going to be available online, and this digital network is, we've been doing this a long time. This is the 9th year we've done Iowa PBS coverage of the finals, and the digital network, I think, started maybe the year after in that, so 8 years ago. And, you know, having these games available to watch around the world. I know yesterday we were on at the Ole Miss football offices. The video guy down there is a North Mahaska fan, and he wanted to make sure that the Warhawks, it was a tough game to watch against Newell Fonda, but that's the beauty. Once, as they say over the PA here, once an Iowa girl, always an Iowa girl, and you have 4 Iowa girls, and it's fun to just see how they come and go and grow up. And, you know, you ask these players, what was your earliest tournament memory? And, well, I had face paint, and I just hope nobody shows that picture of me in 3rd grade here.
Well, I know I had my first trip down here in 4th grade, watching the Applington Panthers make a long run. They won 50-some games in a row, and best player on that team, Darren DeVries, who everybody around this area knows now as the head coach at Drake.
Buchan cleaned up the rebound and put it back, but instead Buchan fouled the girl out of bounds, is what the officials said.
That's going to be whistled on Clemens. So,
on Clemens? Okay. Okay, so
yeah,
Clemens
said she pushed her after she got rid of it. He said that she pushed her at that point. So, but Buchan puts her hands up and says, I don't know. I'm just here to – she's been playing with a smile on her face almost the entire game. Another big one there, flashes that toothy grin as she's going to have a chance here at the free throw line.
Because that is the 7th team foul on Pleasant Valley at the 6:29 mark. So sort it all out.
You know, it's fun to see the memories pop up, you know, during this week every year, to see how much our streams here have evolved throughout the course of the last 7-8 years. In fact, starting up there in section 119 and trying to figure out who everybody was from a long ways away. I'm glad my eyes have aged a lot over the last 8 years. I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Now you just have to avoid the balls and the girls that are running at you from here. Gyamfi hit, and she's laughing about it, so I'm pretty sure it was a sensitive area. And now Johnston's going to pull it out a little bit and take a little bit of clock off. They're up 56-32.
Yeah, no rush right now for the Dragons.
Buchan dribbles in. Tanky. Gyamfi. Shot is missed. And the rebound, Johnston.
Oh, I love that body control there.
Buchan thought she had it. Gyamfi chases, throws it back right to the always available Reagan Pagliano. And before Weiss can get the shot off, there's a foul. Weiss had 16 against City High and 10 boards. She was a part of that volleyball state championship back in November.
Yeah, that's been a nice run that PV's been on for some of their girls. Well, boys sports as well. I mean, they've had a good football team the last couple of years. Coach Van Wetsinga there. Got her spun around a little bit. Turned one way and went the other. Looked like a misread fly ball, even though just the pass came a little bit later.
I still think of Van Wetsinga as a Quad City steamwheeler when he played arena football.
Man, you're a lot older than I am.
I know. Gosh. Just spent some time over there watching the old steamwheelers.
That pass has to come just a little bit earlier there, Schultz, as she's coming around. Just gets too close. You know, eventually they can defend both, and just a little bit late on the recognition.
Substitution here coming in. Substitutions are brought to you all tournament long by IMT Insurance. Be worry-free with IMTINS.com. 5:17 to go in this contest. Johnston and Pleasant Valley. Moats. Pass knocked away Balsley. She steps in front. Is going to lay it up and score. So Isabella Balsley gets the steal and the score.
19 turnovers now for PV. They were so good early on about protecting the basketball.
Nice drive by Weiss to finish.
You know, looking at this PV team, some youth. Between Weiss and Clemens and Weiss. A nice nucleus coming back next year.
Gosling way out three, no good. And the other Weiss, Quinn, with the rebound. Three, no good by Maurer, who was tipped. Gosling tries to save it, but it was just too much. And good thing those are pads on that far side. She went plowing into that.
The sound of the pad hitting the ground was a lot worse. It looked like initially that was Gosling running into the pad that made that noise. But, you know, I've thought this for years, Paul, but as you look around the student section that Johnston brings here to Wells Fargo Arena every year, I think there should be a rule that if Johnston's here, they play that first game of the day. They load up their student section.
And they have to stay for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
help fill in the crowd. Travel on Pleasant Valley. Well, and PV's crowd about halfway there with the student section.
And they've got a lot further to travel.
They have a long way to go over on I-80.
Make a little stop at the world's largest truck stop.
Well, you can't stop there when you're leaving the Quad Cities because you've barely been out of town.
I do. I find a way. In fact, I'll be heading to the Quad Cities on Sunday for a volleyball tournament, so I'll find a reason to stop there at the I-80 world's largest.
At Walcott, as Emma Hampton, Pagliano shot a little long. Aaliyah Riley, the loose ball collection.
Heading to one of the best names for a venue that I've seen. It's the Volleyball Factory in Davenport for a volleyball tournament. Love that name.
Hampton manufactures a bucket there. 62-34, 3.5 to play. Weiss drives in, the runner, no. Contested by Blanchard, who collects. Now Balsley hits her in stride. 2 on 3. Molly Nelk, they make it look easy. That was a clinic right there on how to run that drill.
And in the pregame talked about just how well Johnston shares the basketball, and that's just running, like you mentioned, just running it to perfection. What a great, great look by Balsley.
The easy conversation for 5A observers was Johnston's going to be in the finals, no question. Johnston struggled in their regional final against Des Moines North. In fact, I was texting you during that game while you were doing a regional final, and it was, I think you were watching the same thing while trying to call the game.
Everybody had an eye on that game.
Johnston was trailing against North, and North has had a really good year this year, just fell short and had to draw the short straw against the 1 seed in the state.
But when they're clicking, I'm not sure, you know, the team that I think has the horses to run with Johnston would be Waterloo West. I mean, Waterloo West was ranked number 2 pretty much throughout the entire year.
Nice look up ahead to Weiss, just too much. And Blanchard's there to collect.
I'm not so sure that Molly Nelk hasn't banged up her shoulder a little bit. There's some contact down here. You see her favoring her left shoulder, and that the angle that can happen, that can hurt. It's her left arm, so not a shooting arm.
We have some substitutions, but I also want to let you know about the ability to pick up state tournament merchandise. As you remember, and you want to remember the tournament, you can go to IGHSAU.org to browse and customize your merchandise to match your style here. And some teams want to have state champs, but they also want to remember they played at the state tournament. As the benches clear for Johnston, let's try to get the names in here in a moment. Let's see, Ava Helming is in there. Shooting it now was, that's Cameron Gillick, daughter number 2 of Coach Chad. And nice up ahead for Pleasant Valley, that was Addie Kirchhoff. Balsley's still in there. Balsley's been getting more time with the starters, so she can stay and kind of keep running things. Let's see, Ava Helming, I'll just mention them right here. It's easier if I read it off here. Isabel Balsley. They don't quite have them all in on the score sheet. Of course, I can't go the easy way.
Come on, Paul, you've only watched one game this week. You should know who everybody here is.
Avery Ryan, Ava Helming. And that 3, nice hit by Addie Kirchhoff. She's headed to Loris to play soccer. We're going to have to pick a player of the game from Casey's pretty soon, Andy. I think it's going to be a tough call amongst these Johnston players, as just too much for Cameron Gillick. She couldn't quite get it. So we have a couple of possibilities for Johnston. You have 3 players in double figures, Jada Jimfy, Aaliyah Riley, and Zoe Buchan. So think about that while I tell you who's in. Isabel Balsley, Cameron Gillick, Cortland Jackson, Avery Ryan, and Ava Helming in now on the floor for Johnston. Stolen away almost by Balsley, and Balsley has hurt her arm and shoulder, and she is in trouble. It's going to be 5 on 4 until the play stops, and Balsley is hurt on that right shoulder. She came running the whole time.
That was just an awkward way for a shoulder to bend. Hate to speculate what happened, but she is in a lot of pain right now. Immediately grasped for her right shoulder here, really just in mop-up time, for lack of a better term. She was running the point guard, to have somebody to control things here for Johnston. Balsley comes off the bench, plays a lot. She is in a lot of pain over there behind the Johnston bench.
Instead, Aaliyah Riley will come back out here for the final 45 seconds. Loose ball tipped around by Pleasant Valley, and almost putting it in was Morgan Russman, as Pleasant Valley gets in a few more substitutions as well.
They called a foul there at the end, huh?
Natty Carslake, Addie Maurer, Morgan Rasmussen in for PV. Clemens, Russman, Weiss, Carslake, and Maurer. Nice drive to the rack, and scoring is Carslake. Her first 2 points with 30 seconds to play.
PV with a couple nice offensive possessions here to end up this one, and the season on a high note.
Riley's just likely going to dribble the ball until she's contested, and she'll pass it over.
They want to get the ball in there to Ava Helming. I'm just pointing her out. They want to try to get her the basketball.
And Riley holds it for 5, and now we'll hold it. Riley thought it was 5, and coach says, no, it was 6. So she had to get rid of it. And Johnston will move on to the state championship game for the 3rd time in a row in Class 5A. Put it in ink, Johnston into the finals with a 64-44 win. Yeah, player of the game we will pick here during the trophy presentation to Pleasant Valley and the ceremonial advancement for Johnston. Again, Gyamfi, Riley, Buchan, all with double-figure points. We'll figure it out and sort it out.
In addition to receiving medallions, each participating player will receive a commemorative basketball provided by the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards from the IGHSAU are Gene Berger and Gary Ross. Congratulations, head coach Jennifer Getz and the Spartans from Pleasant Valley on an outstanding basketball season. And now, Jada Gyamfi will advance their team to the next round in the official bracket at center court. Dragons fans, your team advances to the 5A championship and will play the winner of our next game between Valley and Waterloo West. That game will be played Friday at 6 p.m. Fans, on behalf of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, we thank you for your support and attendance today. As a reminder, please exit the arena so we can prepare for the next game.
Johnston moves on to play Friday night at 6 o'clock, 64-44, the final here in Class 5A as we look at our player of the game, and we see her on the screen right now, and that's Aaliyah Riley. She was big in a number of ways, Andy, but 12 points, but it's the second number that stands out to you.
Yeah, those 8 assists, the 8 assists are a part that I really thought she stood out today, really distributed the basketball. On a team that really distributes the basketball well, she stood out today. Also had 4 rebounds, Aaliyah Riley, our KC's player of the game.
Final points here, Riley with 12, 13 for Jada Gyamfi, 11 for Zoe Buchan, 8 for Molly Nelk, on the way to a 48% shooting from the field effort, 23 of 48. PV a little less, only at 33%. Their average did get back up there as Clemens with 9, not one Spartan in double figures. Weiss with 6, Moats held scoreless. Addie Kirchhoff 8, Megan Schultz 2, 5 for Reagan Pagliano, 9 for Quinn Weiss, 2 for Natalie Karslake, and 3 for Addie Maurer. We mentioned Nelk had 8, and Emma Hampton 6, Jace Blanchard 3, Allie Tanky 3. Thought she hit 2 threes, so I'm not sure about that one. But Tanky is a Division I commit to Iowa State. We don't even really talk about her, but that's the way it goes. What we're going to be talking about next is the next game in Class 5A. We're a little ahead of schedule. This next game will not start until it's allotted time, but the web stream will be back soon. Put it on a bow, Andy. Johnston into the title game, 3rd year in a row.
Johnston, a team that we've talked from the beginning of the year, almost a team of destiny. They've been ranked number 1 from the very start. Everyone was expecting them to do big things, and here they sit because they're right where they want to be at this point, heading into the state championship game.
Johnston will play the winner of our next game, which is Waterloo West and West Des Moines Valley. That game will be covered here on the Girls Athletic Union Digital Network, which is powered by Mid-American Energy. For Andy Pollack, I'm Paul Yeager and the rest of the crew here at the network. Thank you so much for watching. 1 done. We got 1 more to go in 5A, and then we'll do it in 3A. Thank you so very much for watching. Again, Johnston into the title game with a 20-point win here from Wells Fargo Arena. So long, and thanks for watching.
Sometimes people who seem to know everything
Dental insurance costs a fortune, and it covers nothing.
don't. For instance, personal plans from Delta Dental cut the cost of many procedures in half. So be careful what you hear.
How important are teeth anyway?
Get the facts. Contact Delta Dental about saving with personal dental plans today.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
I hear you're looking for a great college where you can get an affordable education. SWIC is the place for you.
I appreciate the personalized attention.
And I've gotten to meet people from all around the world.
The SWIC student housing is incredible.
I like SWIC's hands-on training.
And I'll start my career in 2 years.
I can schedule my classes online or face-to-face.
SWIC feels like a community.
Like family, like home. SWIC is a place for you.